I think I saw.
Yes, he
I saw
was.
Jeremy for just a second there.
And then he got kicked out.
All right.
Yes.
So first of all, thank you so much for being with us. This right here is my co-host for the day. She's my.
Hi.
Hello. How's
Hi.
it going?
Good. How
my
are
name is
you?
Vincent. This is my daughter Zoe, and Zoe. So in part of our father-daughter time, she likes to pick shows.
I
And,
force him to watch shows.
So as soon as
Yeah.
Others came out, that was the next one that we had to binge watch, and so.
Am I?
Hey!
Jeremy.
I was trying to log in before, and then I got in, but I couldn't see or hear anyone, and I was like, "Is it not working? Did I get the wrong
No,
link?"
we had to fully let you in.
Oh, okay, got it.
You weren't allowed. You weren't allowed
You
in.
were
You're like,
Loud.
nope, don't want him.
Okay.
How are you guys?
We're great. How are you all?
Fantastic. Just hanging.
Doing good.
Oh my gosh, my cheeks already hurt.
So
I've watched this show about 25 times already.
Oh yeah. Is that an accurate number?
Dude, that is.
Probably not. Probably not.
You're like, it might be.
Well, it's very possible. She has over the summer. Over the summer, especially right after over the past 2 weeks. She said her brother says the past 2 weeks she has absorbed so much of Julie and the Phantoms that she has my son singing songs. And it's like it's contagious. So he'll be walking around singing.
I got the music back inside of me.
Yeah.
And he hasn't even seen it. He's just singing it because you're singing him so much. That's so funny. I love that.
He's seen like one episode, and not even that one.
Only one. Can you imagine? Can you imagine 16-year-old brother singing "I Got the Music"?
Oh,
That's
16.
awesome.
That wasn't said. That's impressive.
He's a
Thank
6-year-old.
you.
This is a 10-year-old, and the 10-year-old influenced us. Yes.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
I love this show oh my gosh. I love this show so much.
Show so much.
Hey, you sound like Charlie on set. That's what he sounds like. I'm not even kidding.
It sounds like a Charlie. Okay. It's like I'll be in the middle of a classroom and I'll start singing Flying Solo for no absolute reason.
Is that your favorite? What's your favorite song?
Flying Solo, probably.
Yeah.
Flying Solo? Yeah, it's a good one.
It's so
Now or
catchy.
Never. That's a nice
Now or Never is probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Only because as a musician, I love the fact that you guys. Well, first of all, man, we hadn't really started the interview yet. Oh, sorry. Let's
You're good.
So that we can help our editor be able to know where to cut in and where to start. And so let's do this right. All right. So first of all, welcome. Thank you. All right. So we're gonna act like we're professional now, and so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go back and we're gonna start this properly. Okay. So did you type your names when you came in?
Yeah, I put mine as Jeremy.
Let's see, Seth. Let's identify those names. See if they show up really quickly.
I see.
Okay, awesome.
I see Owen.
Oh, you put your full name, Owen.
I mean,
You put his middle name too.
when you go by 3 names, you got to type them. So
True.
you got to do that.
It's pretty epic.
Very nice.
Thank you.
All right, so-
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, Seth, you can drop the names out really quickly. I just wanted to make sure that they were there so you can pop them in for a second. Let's start off with us, and then we'll go to the interview. Ready?
Us.
Start off with us, and then bring them in. Ready? Okay.
Fun.
Count me down, Seth.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Oh.
Welcome to Entertaining Strangers. Right now, my name is Vincent Gord. This is my daughter, Zoe Gord, and we have the privilege of talking to some members of the cast of an amazing brand new show that's on Netflix right now called
Julie and the Phantoms. Tell your friends.
really quickly, we want to bring in 2 of the main characters who we have the privilege of being able to talk to really quickly. Let's talk to really quickly. Seth, can we bring them in? Owen and Jeremy. Here we go. Yep.
Hello.
Hey!
And first of all, guys, thank you so much for being with us. We truly appreciate you making this time really intentional.
Of course.
So I know Zoe's got a bunch of questions. I've got a bunch of questions. We've been part of our father-daughter time has been over the years, her picking out shows for me to watch with her, no matter what, for me to watch with her. And over the years, it has been High School Musical. It is what else?
Great
Cheetah
choices.
Girls,
Cheetah Girls.
Descendants, and now
Nice.
Julie and the Phantoms.
Thank you very much. Thank you. You're on a Kenny kick. You're watching all the Kenny stuff.
Which brings me to my first question. With the body of work that Kenny Ortega has put together, what was it like working with such a dynamic director, and then also knowing that you're a part of a brand new genre? Well, I don't want to say genre, but a brand new era of teen music that is infectious, that will not go away.
It's so crazy. I mean, I think it's crazy twofold. A, because Kenny is one of these people that is such a legend through just who he's worked with over the long span of his career and what he's done. So many awesome projects, and with that type of person, like you first meet them and you're kind of like you're a little intimidated because you're like, oh my gosh, this is Kenny Ortega. But he's the most humble, disarming, like down to earth person, and he always just makes you feel comfortable. And we really are partners. He makes you feel like a collaborator, and he's just the nicest guy in the whole world. I love it, and he really has this just childlike energy inside that really just, I think, exudes to everyone. Like everyone on set wants to do 100% better because Kenny is just so fun. And it's just crazy. I mean, growing up, like I watched High School Musical and it was like the biggest thing, like everyone knew what it was. And so to be, I guess, in a show that's like, our generation's version of that is like it's just so bonkers. It's so surreal.
Yeah.
I think something really cool too is, Kenny is what, 70 years old, and they just called him the Teen Whisperer, and it's so true. I mean, for this guy to come out with a series in children and family, and you can see his music evolving, you can see that he's still, in touch with what kids want to see, and he's also doing, he's doing things in TV shows now, like with Julie and the Phantoms, that kids didn't know they wanted to see. Mm-hmm. So, and I think that's the magic that he has.
Yes.
The power of just knowing how the formula that he has dialed in, that he has, it's dynamic. It's so powerful to watch, and to watch the chemistry on screen. While we were watching, I was telling Zoe at first when it first came on, I was like, Zoe, is this another Disney show? Are you roping me in? And but I realize now, understand now the backstory, how powerful this formula is, and to know that you guys, I mean, when you came together, and I was looking at some of the conversations and interviews you'd done previously about your auditions and getting prepared. How did you feel when you read about these parts and what it like? Were you immediately connected to the character, or was it something that you were feeling like it might have been a stretch?
I would say it's one of those weird circumstances where you audition for a lot of things, and I think in a lot of roles you kind of put a certain amount of yourself into them no matter what. But like all of us actually play our instruments and actually sing, and so it was one of those rare things where it was like I get an audition, and a lot of times auditions will be for like singers that also play like full guitar, not like bass. And I play bass and sing in real life, and so that was so cool. I was like, oh, the character's like just strictly like a bass player that can sing, and I was like, I do that. That's second nature. Like that's so cool. And then it was like kind of comedic, and he was kind of goofy. And if anybody knows me, I'm the biggest dork in the whole world in real life. And so I was like, I think I can do this. I think I can be a dork who plays bass, sings, and it was like perfect. And I think that's what Kenny's so great at, is he finds people that really just fit the role. Like they don't even. You're always going to change certain little things because it's a character and it's not fully you, but like he finds people that are almost already that to begin with, and it just makes it so much easier on set.
Owen, I'm a drummer, and so
I
heard a little bit about you being this amazing percussionist, also an amazing singer. So again, for you, was this part a stretch, or was this like a shoe fit, like an easy slide for you?
Well, I mean, just with drumming, I used to have, I started drumming when I was, I think 10, and then I drummed until I was 13. And then that's when I started doing a lot of film and like TV work. So, I moved out to LA from Oklahoma, and I couldn't bring I had like this really cool, like 5-tom Mapex kit that I was blessed to have at like 12. And, I had to leave it behind, so I didn't get to play. And then, it was actually, and regarding the audition, I my show was just canceled at Nickelodeon. And it was like that weird time where all my friends were kind of going to college. And I was like, okay, well, if I'm going to do this, like I have to book something this pilot season. If I'm really going to prove to people that, you know, I'm an adult now, but I can be an actor. And it was a pilot season full of anxiety and audition after audition and throwing up. And then Dan and Dave called me. They sent me this audition, and it was almost like a little perfect package. It was like I read it and I was like, are you joking me? Like, this guy is singing, he's drumming, and he's got sarcasm. It was me, you know. So so it was just it was amazing. I just went in and I honestly, I really just, I was myself. I just put myself in that sarcasm, and I think I found like a little niche that luckily they were looking for.
Awesome.
Okay.
Go.
Okay, so I have a question. So Reggie is the only person that has not found his special someone, other than flirting with almost everyone.
That's true. It's true fact.
How would you? So, do you think that Reggie would find this special someone in more seasons?
Gosh, I hope so. You know, I think he has such a big heart. It's so funny. He is, I think, genuinely like the most flirty, but is the most by far single out of all of them.
You know what's funny that I never realized? Like, yeah, okay, you in real life, you are married, and Charlie and I are alone. That's what's incredible.
It is pretty funny to me. Yeah, it's the irony is not lost on me. And he's also like, Reggie's so flirty, but I mean, like I am with my lovely wife, but like in real, I was never that way. Like I was always like awkward and kind of dorky, and I think it usually people liked me because they laughed at the fact that I was a dork, and that kind of worked. I was not smooth, although I guess Reggie's not really smooth either. I think he will. I think if we get if we get a couple more seasons, I think that maybe Reggie can find some romance. I would assume it would have to be with like a ghost or something, because I mean, we can't like interact with people. I mean, we don't have that connection besides Julie, and that's kind of Julie Luke type thing going on. So I guess it has to be a ghost. I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, ghost groupies. Ghost
groupies.
Yeah. That's what's gonna be.
Cast expanding already.
Yeah.
Really quickly before, because I know Zoe has a question for you on also, but Jeremy, kind of segueing off of the point of you being the only one married, and congratulations to you being married to Carolyn.
Thank you.
And we know about Finn and Jake. So I personally am also a big fan of animation, and so I love the idea that the majority of your work or your body of work is stuff that has been off screen, voiceover work, which my son is really interested in.
Totally.
What was the biggest contrast between doing voiceover and doing this live action?
That's a great question. It's so interesting. It's one of those things where they are so much the same thing. It's all different forms of acting, but I think the biggest difference is with voiceover, you're really conveying all of the emotion and everything that's happening with the character in the scene through just how you speak a line. And it makes you really conscious of tone, of your voice. And I think part of that also comes in with being a singer, because you kind of have to be on pitch, obviously, at times, and you kind of understand that cadence. And so it works with that. But it is hard. I mean, it's just different. When you're on camera, you have so many more tools to kind of show off a character's emotions. There's very like small, little minute changes in your facial expression. And that kind of big, broad physical comedy, which I love doing. I mean, there's like the moments where we're in Julie's bedroom and her dad walks in, and I do like a backward somersault over the beanbag chair for basically no reason. Like I love that type of stuff. So I think that's the fun part. It's kind of one of those things where it's the same thing, but you're just kind of being more specific in one's voice, and you're just really intentionally figuring out how this is translated through just how you're speaking a line. And the other is a lot more work, and is a lot like, you're there shooting 16 hours a day instead of doing a 2-hour record session. But you have a lot more tools kind of in your actor's tool belt. Plus, when you're doing a voiceover, you could show up in your pajamas, which is pretty awesome. There's no specific dress code, which that is a benefit for VO.
Owen, I have a question for you. So, what what advice would you give to just anyone that is aspiring to be an actress or an actor?
It's a good question, because I bet I asked a million actors that, and I never got an answer, because the scary truth is that no one really knows what they're doing, and no one really knows how to make it. But if you know that you love it and your heart's really in it, and your heart really has to be in it, because you got to dedicate everything to it. You got to practice. You got to learn your lines. You got to put a lot of time into your self tapes and your auditions, and you know, don't stress out too much about your agents and your managers and stuff. You know, especially starting out, if you're going to get the same auditions that most kids are going to get. So just really put all your work into your auditions, your craft, and who you are, and just keep going. It's just going and going and going. You know, I'm doing 200 auditions for a pilot season before I got this. So it's just a lot of, you got to have a lot of stamina.
Yeah, I think it's
Not
that
it.
definite endurance to be like, you know, you're going to go out on a lot of things and just not get them. I mean, I started acting at like 6 years old. You know, I've probably gone out on easily upwards of 1,000 auditions, and obviously you don't get most of those. And I think the biggest thing for me is just remembering that everything happens when it's supposed to in its time. You know, there's a lot of things that you go out on, you don't get for whatever reason, and so much of it is not in your control. You know, it's like that you look too much like this person, or maybe like they just thought you didn't have a certain personality cue they want. Like there's so many things that you have no control over. You really just have control over your audition. And then I'm a firm believer that you're going to get the projects you're meant to get, and you're not going to get the ones that you're not meant to get. And ultimately, every project that I have gotten has been such a blessing and so fun, and I've made lifelong friends and really family. I mean, this one definitely is being an example of that. So I think,
and you can't hold anything too. Like if you go out on audition and you go all the way to, you know, if you're seeing producers, or you go all the way to network, you can't hold it against yourself, because I mean, I've had a casting agent tell me they didn't like the way I blinked. So it's not in your control. It's usually not your acting. It's sadly, it's usually your look. So, you know, they want some guy with brown hair instead of blonde. You're out. It doesn't matter how good you are. So
dude,
just keep faith in yourself.
I had a casting agent one time, literally tell me that my voice was annoying. I was in an audition, and I started the lines. I was maybe two lines into the scene, and the lady goes, "Okay, just stop." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, what did I do?" and she was like, "There's this tone and cadence, almost sing-songy, I don't know, to your voice that's just really annoying." And I was like, okay, is there a like, what do you want me to do? And she was like, "Can you just try it again and just do it different?" And I was just like,
try to get it and not be you.
Dude, this is so funny. This is so funny because it's gonna happen to everybody acting. Real quick, I went out for one, and what did they say? Oh, it was after I had done 3 shows for Nickelodeon, and 2 of them were multicam. 2 of them were multicam shows, so that was like on a stage. And I went out for a multicam project, and I did the whole thing, and then the casting director looked at me and said, "Have you ever acted before?" And I said, "No, I have not." And I gave her the script and I left. And
That's so funny because I guess right now, all of those casting directors and all the people who said no to you are probably watching right now saying,
maybe. Yeah.
So, Owen, you had the opportunity, and you referenced it a little earlier, talking about some of the other shows that you were on, and I think it was really cool for you to kind of revisit a friendship, being on this show with Savannah Mae. How was that?
Yeah,
reconnected with her after Night Shift.
I mean, it was the best. It was the coolest, because I mean, that's what you want, right? Like, but once you're done with a project, your best friends from that project, you want to just grab them and take them to the next one. So, you know, she sent in her audition, and like she didn't need. I remember just like walking by Kenny's laptop, and they clicked on it. It was Savannah, and I like kind of like I pooped myself, but I kind of hid it, and I was like, I looked at the screen and I was like, oh, who's that? And I was like, oh, that's my friend Savannah. And then I went on. I remember going on her Instagram and I just tried to gas her up as much as I could, but she didn't need it at all. I mean, Kenny said the first audition, he knew like that was her. You know what I mean? She's so talented. She can dance like crazy. It was hers from the start. But no, it's been an absolute blast filming with her. It's been the best.
Knowing that now, I can see the whole. Especially in the scenes where you were mocking her as a ghost while she's dancing. I could see the chemistry of the friendship now because I'm like, oh, there's really history there. So even though she can't see you in the show, I can only imagine what that was like while you were shooting and her trying to hold back, trying to stay in character while you're
trying not to laugh.
I'm not. Yeah. I don't like dancing. I don't think I'm a good dancer. I don't enjoy dancing. So Kenny came to me the first day, and I was excited because this had drumming, acting, comedy, and singing. Perfect. 4 I love. And then he was like, "You on stage with Savannah. You're in a Dirty Candy number." And I was like, "What?" And I was like, and number one rule with working with Kenny Ortega, you do not say the word no. So if he tells you something, you'll be like, "Okay." Try to figure it out later. And it always ends up working out. Exactly. It was a blast.
Go Zoe.
So I have one more question. I see the connection you all have. Is this just an on-screen thing, or are you all really Julie and the Phantoms?
It's fake. It's all fake. We're actors, and that's what we're supposed to be. No, Gary, you want to answer this one?
Yeah, it is one of those weird things where, I mean, you start working on something, and you know that you're going to be spending like basically all day, every day with this group of people for, I mean, at least if you're doing one season, like 6 months basically, and then potentially for the course of many years, if you end up getting more seasons and so on and so forth. And with a show like this, where it's supposed to be a band, and potentially, if it's successful and when it's safe, we would all love to go on tour. So knowing that, you're kind of like, gosh, I really hope I like these people, and I will say, like, even just from the first couple days of our chemistry reads and our mix and match and test, and then when we got it, and we had like a 2 months of like a band boot camp before we started shooting, where we were just learning instruments and literally becoming a band and just working on the songs and everything. We all clicked and got close so fast because everyone's just super down to earth. Everybody's really talented. I mean, Charlie and Owen are just like my brothers at this point. I mean, we get along so well. Maddie's like my little sister. We love watching animation. The first day that I walked into the test, actually, Maddie was like, "Oh my God, it's Lance from Voltron." She was like a big Voltron and Adventure Time fan. So we hit it off over that. And even like Boo Boo and Savannah and Tori and Sasha and Jada, who's just the cutest, and it's her Jada and Maddie are like twins. It's so funny. Like on set, like the first day that they were hanging out, because they had actually both put the roles. They came in, and you would have swear that they were best friends for like 10 years. And it's just so funny. Like, that's what makes this type of show so fun. And I think that's why the finished product looks so great. It's because like most of that chemistry is just there. And even you wouldn't think after spending like 16 hours a day shooting with someone that you want to spend more time with them. But like half the time after a set, we'd be like, all right, you guys want to hang out and play video games and get food? And like that's what we were doing most of the time. So
Kenny, I think it boils down to Kenny. Kenny's not only an amazing director and the kindest director, he's also just a really kind person, caring person. So, I don't think he settles for anything less when he looks at people that he's going to be working with. And he just surrounds himself with great people. So, and I got the chance to hang out with those people too. So
I invited Owen and Charlie to my wedding after only had been worked with them for like probably less than a month. So that was a big, that was like, wow, I think these guys are cool. I really hope that stays, because I just invited
and it them. Was a mistake. Yeah, we ruined it. Yeah, we objected pretty quickly. Yeah.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
So with the dynamic and the chemistry between the show and just how it flowed, I realized that there are lots of twists and turns in the show. Mm-hmm. It was written really well for me. I really enjoyed it. So I know, of course, we can't do spoilers for we want people to watch it. But what would be if you could add a cast member or a character to the next season, who would it be and why?
I would add everybody's got a boss, right? Everybody's got a leader, and I would like to see Cheyenne Jackson's leader, and I think it should be also Caleb Covington. I think it would be the coolest thing to see. So I mean, he's so powerful that to have like a more powerful person on top of that, maybe like Neil Patrick Harris would be kind of cool. I don't know.
Wow.
But yeah, Neil Patrick Harris would be pretty cool.
He just got some other ideas.
You were about to say something. What was that?
He had some light bulb.
It was a light bulb, but I can't say. I can't say.
Oh, okay.
That's hard. There's so many people. I would love, like, I mean, if we could have like a cameo from like any High School Musical alum, that would be pretty awesome. Or I mean, there's other like somebody who. Oh, Tori actually mentioned this person the other day that would be super cool. Jordan Fisher, who's like super good dancer, super good singer. Is like either, I don't know, like I mean, obviously if you're gonna cast someone like that, you want them to have a role that actually is performing. So if there's like some rival artist or like some other ghost or something, that'd be cool.
It'd be really cool. So if Willie has maybe left Caleb behind, Caleb needs a new little henchman. Jordan Fisher was his new little henchman. That would be pretty cool.
Hey,
that'd be pretty cool. Plot twist. We're writing season 2 right now. Don't worry.
Well, speaking of writing, that's another great point. So, and you we referenced it a little earlier, Jeremy, about Bandcamp and you guys being able to write music. How powerful was it for you guys to not just have the time to kind of perfect your craft as a band together, but also to begin to the writing process for producing and creating original music that also got included in the show and that could be included in the next season? What is that like? Just as an idea, just to know that the creative process wasn't just you producing these characters through your presentation, but rather you actually depositing or creating things that could be added.
It is such a blessing. I mean, like most of the time with any show, you're probably never going to have that much in the kind of creating stuff department usually, especially not like on your first go round, especially not on like a season 1. So the fact that like we had a couple brief ideas that kind of made it into the show, as far as like, Charlie and Maddie, and I did a little bit on that, but that's mostly just the two of them, with Perfect Harmony, which is so cool that they were able to do that for the first season. And we kind of all messed around a little bit on like the kind of beach band jam. And then just for fun, we were like writing stuff between takes, just to kind of, I guess, be in character that we could write music together. And then they recently have given us just this really awesome opportunity. If we get a second season, they were just having us kind of start doing a little like kind of songwriting camp that we've been doing virtually through Zoom and everything. And so we have some really cool demos that hopefully, if the show goes forward, I think have a pretty good chance of making to the show, which is so cool. And I think that's part of us being not just actors playing a band, but the fact that they really want us to be a band, to not only sing it, but to be able to write some of the music and co-write it, and then be able to perform those, which is just, it's so cool. It's so cool. I would have never expected that to have been something that we were able to do, but I'm glad they trusted a few of us to do that, which is so cool.
Well, I know that our time is almost up, but I really just wanted to say specifically because we're going to play now. We're going to play
Bright.
No, not Bright. We're going to play Now or Never. Right.
Now or Never.
Yes.
Nice.
So, and Now or Never. Right before we go, I'd love for you to just to kind of give us a little bit of feedback on that experience, because again, leading into the show, that is that first time that we see Sunset, and I just really want to make sure that people can be able to get the opportunity to really know what it felt like for you guys to be able to present that.
Well, I think so. I mean, when we heard Now or Never, it was kind of the thing that kind of like drove us into our initial reactions of who Sunset Curve was and our characters, and it was kind of what we listened to be like, okay, this is what this band was. This is what they wanted to be in '95, and it's kind of a modern sound, not too modern, but it was kind of like a modern, it was almost like a 5 Seconds of Summer kind of sound. So it was kind of fun to be like, okay, well, they were maybe a little bit ahead of their times of what a boy band was. And I think it really kind of set us up to who we were as like musicians and rockers, but to also see, where the music started and what Julie brought in to our sound to create what Julie and the Phantoms is, and kind of that newer sound that you hear. But I think you can kind of hear the blend between the two, and it's kind of cool that we set it up with Now or Never. I think it's an important song so people kind of understand where most of Julie and the Phantoms kind of originated from.
100%. Yeah, I feel like it really kicks off the show with just a lot of kind of high energy and like a literal like rock song, which is cool because that's what these guys would have been doing in the 90s. And we shot that for like, I don't know, 15 hours. We did probably, I don't even know how many takes of it. And after we were doing it for real. I was in leather jacket, these super bright lights on. It was hot, and
the lights were they weren't allowed to use LEDs. They had to use the actual lights that would be used in '95. And I was like I don't care. They were so hot. Sorry, Jarek.
Oh, you're good. No, that actually adds to it because literally our first take, they had like they put like fake sweat on us because they wanted to seem like this is the end of our like full rehearsal of our set. And I remember after the first take, we were drenched in sweat. And Kenny comes up and he was like, "Hey, do they have a makeup team?" He goes, "Can you guys take down their fake sweat a little bit? It looks like a little bit budged." And they were like, "We have not touched them. That's just all of what it is." He was like, "Okay, leave it."
Well, listen, guys, thank you so much for giving us this moment, and we totally appreciate you sharing your time and making this really important for all of our entertaining strangers, watchers, and viewers. So before we go, just again, thank you so much. And Zoe, what's the 3 words?
Tell your friends.
Yeah,
friends.
About Zoe.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much.
Zoe, it was nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you guys.
Thank you so much.
I'll get to talk to you soon.
All right.